talk about this because if I don't talk about it, then I'm gonna think it never happened, but it happened. I'm pretty sure that I live in a movie. I'm 21. I've been living in the same apartment in Brooklyn since I was 19. And I have this neighbor. He's this old man. I hear him coughing a lot, but I've never really, like, met him. A few weeks ago, I got a noise complaint because I had some people over. And then a few weeks after that, I got another note under my door, and it said, "Dear Catherine," which is my full name. I don't go by Catherine. It said, "Dear Catherine, word's getting around that you're a floozy who can't keep it in their pants." I didn't think anything of this note because I thought it was funny, just like an old cranky man, until this morning happened. I always lock my door every night. I don't use my doorknob. I use the lock as like a doorknob, like I'm in like London. I woke up at 7 because I heard a sound, and I got up and turned around, and this man was standing in my apartment just like staring at me, watching me sleep. So at this point I got up and I screamed at him to get out. He left, and so I started calling my parents, and they told me to call the cops. So I called the cops, and about 7 cops showed up to my fucking apartment building. And my neighbor just moved in, and she's watching this all go down. I tell them what happened, and he's not answering his door. They can't get in. So they go to my fire escape that connects to his window and start knocking on the window, and so he finally comes out. And he changed into a robe to make it look like he just woke up, but he was dressed up when he was watching me sleep. This story gets crazier, just wait. So he's struggling against them, saying he doesn't know what we're talking about, he didn't do anything, blah, blah, blah. They take him away to be evaluated and to question him about what happened. So my dad came and picked me up. So I come home to Long Island, and my mom says that she has something for me. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about? She hands me 2 postcards identical to the one that I got. The first one is dated November 2019, and the second one was dated February 20th. So as you can see right here, the top note is from February. He's complaining about a guy that I was dating. And the bottom one is from 2019, when I was dating a different guy. This is the note that I got a few weeks later, when I'm now with a different guy. So pretty much whenever I've been with a guy in the past 2 years, he's sent a note. I don't know how he got my home address in Long Island. It probably means he's been in my apartment multiple times, probably while I was gone or while I was sleeping. My mail has been going missing as well. We think it's him. The only way he could have gotten my home address is if he found my ID in my apartment. And that's the end of my first New York City apartment.
Hey guys, so story time on how I got scammed by another small business owner. By the way, this video is going to be 2 to 3 minutes long because I just got the feature to do 3-minute long videos. So I bought one of her products because we were going to do a buy for buy. I made a TikTok saying, anybody want to do a buy for buy who has an Etsy shop? She replied, and I messaged her, and we said we were going to spend about $10 each. My total ended up coming out to about $15. I got 2 different things, and I thought it was going to be $10, but it was okay because the shipping was just an extra $5, and I was fine with spending it. And she also gave me a discount code to use too, so I was still fine. And she bought one of my lip glosses, one of my birthday love lip glosses, which are about $3 or $5. I don't remember right now. And then the shipping made it about $10. So she didn't spend as much as I did, but I was okay with that. So her processing time was about 3 to 5 days, which means she should ship it in about 5 days at most. And UPS usually takes around 3 to 5 days to get it to my house. So, you know, I was planning on waiting a week and a half for it to get. So I clicked on the order and it said shipped, but it said carrier unknown. So that means that they didn't specify if they were using USPS or if they were using pirate ship or some other kind of. So I was still fine with it at first. I didn't say anything to her. I thought, okay, well, I'll just wait for it to come because I have seen this with some people, but it will still end up coming. So another week passed by, and so I ended up talking to one of my small business friends, and she was talking to the same person, and she had the same exact problem. The only thing that was different was that she had actually messaged the seller, but the seller came back really rude, yelling to her in messages and stuff. Obviously, we didn't want to report anybody because we didn't want to like seem mean or bring down their business or something, and then they would have a look to us. So we just left it. We said, it's okay, it's all right. So mind you, 4 weeks have already passed and I still have not gotten my order. And so I decided to message her. Said, hi, my package still hasn't came after 4 weeks. can I please have the shipping number? And all she replied with was, it'll be there soon. And I didn't want to get into any arguments or anything, so I just said, oh, okay. Then about 2 days later, she asked me, did it ever arrive to my house? I told her no, it didn't, and I said maybe because my mail person didn't come today. So I told her I would look out for it tomorrow. I checked the next day, and it still wasn't there. But I waited 2 more days after that just to message her, and it still did not come. So I messaged her saying that, hi, my package still not has arrived. Do you have a tracking number that I can look at? All she replied with was, no, I do not have a tracking number. And it still has not arrived. Wow. I know $15 is not a lot, but I kind of don't want to just waste my money. I'm not just going to give it for no reason. It was supposed to be a buy for buy. I gave her a product. I know she still bought from me, but if I bought from her, I'm expecting something in return. But yeah, that's the whole story.
What is the worst interaction with another human you've had in 2020? I'll fucking go first. I asked a girl out on a date, picked her up, drove her to the fucking restaurant. Right when we parked, she tells me, I don't think I really want this to be a date. What? I had no fucking idea what I should do. So I just fucking go into the restaurant with her. We sit there like we're strangers the entire time. I had just like blown up a little bit on TikTok. I made a fucking video about the situation and I asked everyone on TikTok what the fuck I should do. As I'm sitting at fucking dinner, my fucking phone just goes crazy. Fucking video goes viral. I'm like reading the comments at dinner, laughing my fucking ass off. I get up to go to the bathroom and my fucking waitress stops me and she says, I just got off my fucking break. I just saw your fucking TikTok. She was like, I fucking got this. When I sit down, she comes over. She acts like I'm a fucking celebrity. Gives me her fucking phone number. And the girl I was with was fucking devastated.
Honestly, I am so embarrassed to be telling this story, and if you're a makeup artist, don't come for me, please. One time I had a client who was a friend of a family member who reached out to me just a couple of days before the dance asking me if I could do her daughter's homecoming makeup. Let me just point out that at this time I had already graduated high school and I'd been out for a minute. So it had been a while since I had done somebody's prom or homecoming makeup. I had mostly moved on to doing photo shoots, some weddings, or just coming up with crazy looks to do on myself for fun. So when I asked what type of look she wanted, she sent me a look from Pinterest that I had literally seen the exact reference photo for probably like 50 times. I was like, great, this is going to be super easy, nothing to worry about here, so I was like, sure, I'll do it. So on the day of the dance, I go over to my client's house. One of the first things I do whenever I do someone's makeup is make sure that I have a foundation and concealer shade that will match their skin tone. And this girl was abnormally pale. She was absolutely beautiful, and her skin literally reminded me of porcelain, like a porcelain doll. But even my lightest foundation and concealer shades were too dark for her skin. If you've ever done anyone's makeup, even a friend, you know that it is so embarrassing to not be able to match their skin tone. Luckily though, I was used to having to come up with very creative solutions to very sticky situations. Like I said before, I was doing this girl's makeup for her homecoming dance, and homecoming is usually in the fall, and this one was right around Halloween. So I did happen to have some face paint in my makeup kit. And here's where the first really embarrassing thing happened. I didn't know what else to do, so I literally took white face paint and mixed it with my foundation to create a perfect match for her skin tone. It did work, and it looked really good on her skin. So after I used this face paint foundation mixture to put all over her face, I go in and I start doing the eye look. This was also during COVID, so I was wearing a face mask, and as I progressed through her eye look, it started getting really difficult for me to breathe. At first, obviously, I thought it was because of the mask and it was probably just hot in the room that we were in. But after about 20 minutes, it started getting really difficult and I was honestly getting so uncomfortable. I couldn't figure out why. I literally couldn't breathe. Also, I'm not one of those people who can't breathe if they get nervous or anything like that. I have a completely different reaction. I decided not to say anything because, what am I going to say to a 16-year-old girl whose parents aren't home? And quite honestly, I just didn't want to scare her. I finish her entire look, she pays me, everything looks great, and as I'm walking out of her house, I see the 3 cats sitting in her living room. Fun fact about me, I'm extremely allergic to cats. And when I got in my car and took off my mask, my entire face was swollen. That explained why I couldn't breathe, and I was quite honestly embarrassed because that means that my eyes had been swollen the entire time I was standing there talking to her. Everything turned out fine though. I took a Benadryl when I got home and her makeup looked amazing.
It's time for story time at Emily, bitch. So back when I used to work at a daycare, I was in charge of a room of 15 2 to 3-year-olds. And this one little girl, we're gonna call her Ariana because, bitch, I'm a stan. And this little girl, Ariana, happened to be the spawn of Satan. I swear to God, it's like Satan had a child and it was that little girl, Ariana. She was a 2-year-old stuck in a 15-year-old's body because that bitch was almost bigger than me. And because she was so much bigger than the rest of the little kids, she would go full Mortal Kombat on these little kids. I swear to God, she would whoop their asses. And I would constantly have to get in the middle of it and be like, yo, Bigfoot, you gotta relax. I don't know what trauma you got going on at home, but you got to relax. So one day I'm in the middle of changing a diaper, and all of a sudden Ariana comes up to the little girl and she just punches her dead in the face. Just dead ass squared up with her and punched her. And I was like, oh my God, this is a problem now. And because I'm in the middle of changing a diaper, I can't just leave the changing station. So I'm quickly trying to clean some literal shit up. And all of a sudden the girl that Ariana hit gets up, and that bitch is not even crying. She looks at her, she goes, no. And she scratches the shit out of her face. And I'm like, bitches, calm down. So without even putting a diaper on or anything, I put the kid down, full dingling out and everything. And I run to these girls because they full going at it like it's WWE. And I'm like, ladies, I did not sign up for this. I signed up for Dora and Animal Crackers. What the fuck is this? And as I'm trying to get them off each other, Ariana's mom comes in and Ariana just stops. She just stops. She looks at me, she looks at her mom, and that bitch starts crying. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, here we go with the snitch ass bitch. And Ariana's mom is like, oh my God, what happened? And I'm trying to explain to her that Ariana thought it'd be a real cute idea to go up and deck this girl straight in her dome. And because of that, she got scratched in the face. And Ariana's mom looks at me and then looks at the little girl who got decked, who has a literal black eye, and goes, no, that little girl couldn't have done that. That was you who scratched her. And I said, bitch, what? I was like, what is going on right now? I am full on confusion. Because what am I going to get out of going full Tiger King on a 2-year-old's face, bitch? What? And Ariana's mom is like, my daughter's an angel. I have raised her correctly, and she has never put her hands on anybody. And I said, bitch, I don't know who you've been dropping off every single day, but the same bitch you talking about is not the same bitch I'm talking about. I have seen your daughter give more smackdowns in a WWE tournament, bitch. I don't know what you talking about. And she's like, you've been abusing these kids for the past year, and you think that because you're 17 and stupid, you can get away with it, but don't worry because I will be pursuing legal action. And I said, oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm stupid. But yet your stupid ass is here dropping off your kid every day for the past year with a stupid 17-year-old, right, bitch? But I'm stupid. And I swear to God, she gets in my face and she goes, I'm your worst fucking nightmare. You don't want to test me. And I said, oh, okay, Freddy Cougar, relax. Take your fucking kid and go because I'm tired of the fucking conversation, bitch. Bitch, and I kid you not, this lady put her hands up and tried fighting me. And I was like, oh, well, you know what, bitch? At least I know now where Ariana gets it from. What a great example you're setting, Mom. Security had to come and escort her out. And on her way out, I was like, bye, Ariana. This stupid 17-year-old will see you tomorrow morning, bitch.
Storytime of how I figured out that my sister was trying to kill me. So me and my sister were like best friends when we were little, but she was a very, very jealous person. So years and years go on, but her jealousy seems to start to grow. So I never really thought about it until I found out that she really wanted me dead. But throughout the years, she would do little things to get me hurt. For example, she pushed me off the top of our treehouse and I ended up breaking my arm. But every time I got hurt, my family would baby me and she would get even more mad. So at this time, we're about 16 years old, and I had to go in her room to get her laundry. And under her laundry, I found her diary, or journal, or whatever you call it. I was flipping through the pages, I found out some interesting and crazy things. Then one was named The Perfect Murder. What an original name. She had this big, huge dresser in her room. She went into a lot of detail about how she was going to kill me. But it stated that she was going to push the dresser on top of me and jump on it until I, then scream for help. I'm running out of time, like for part 2. Part 2 of I found out that my sister was trying to kill me. Continuing on with the story, after I read what I read in her diary, I decided it was best to keep it to myself. So about a month and a half later, I start to think to myself, and I'm like, okay, maybe she's not actually gonna do it. Y'all, I don't know why, but I was literally not scared that my sister was, about to kill me. So about 2.5 months after I read what I read in her diary, she calls me into her room and in this fakest voice ever goes, Sissy, why are you being so distant from me? I just looked at her like she was crazy. Then she goes, I know you read my diary. At that exact moment, she looked psycho. I don't know what I was thinking, but right after she said that, my reflex was to knock her out. So I knocked her out, then I stomped on her head. I called my mom into the room and read her the diary, or whatever the heck my sister put in there. Mind you, while I'm reading my mom this diary, she's still knocked out on the floor. My mom then continues to say she's going to put her in a mental hospital. So to this day, my sister's in a mental hospital, and if you're listening to this and you ever get out...
My daughter Savannah is the CEO of faking illness to get out of school. So when she does not feel like being there, she will go to the nurse's office and complain to them that she is really not feeling good so that they call me and I have to go get her. Well, one day after this happens, I walk into the administrative office and everybody is really concerned because Savannah is sitting in a chair like so dramatically like, hi, Mom. And like when I saw her, I burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And everybody looked at me like I was some really bad mom. Like, oh my God, why aren't you more concerned? But as we were walking out, she was walking really slow and actually didn't look good. So even I was a little concerned. I was like, oh my God, honey, are you okay? Until we got to the car when Savannah looks at me and goes, you know what, Mom? I feel better now. And I was like, Savannah, are you serious? And she's like, Mom, do you maybe want to go to Starbucks and have like a girls' day? And I was like, honey, what kind of question is that? You know I do.